Thinking about a move to the Tri-Cities, Washington, and not sure where to start? If you just got a job offer and you now have to decide if it's the right move for you and your family, you need to find all the information you can on moving to our community. Starting with information on the different types of housing that are available and moving from there into the more in depth pieces of information. So, first of all, go out, Google, make sure that we even have the types of houses that you like at a price that you like that makes the salary you're being offered at the new job a salary at which you can afford to move your family here. Depending where you're coming from, we might be way less expensive than where you're currently located, or we might be a lot more expensive. So do that research ahead of time before you make that decision on whether or not it's the right choice to move your family to our community. The next thing you want to do is research what the costs of relocation are actually going to be. You might be receiving a full relocation package from your new employer, in which case those costs are probably going to be pretty minimal because they're probably either going to be providing the cost up front or reimbursing you for the cost once you arrive. But if you do not have a relocation package, then you want to take the time to research the actual moving costs so that you can make sure you can afford to move. When looking at relocation costs, be looking at everything having to do with the relocation. Do not just look at the cost of a truck. Look at the cost of a truck, the cost of moving to a new house. What is going to be the expense to purchase a new home or rent a new home? What is the expense for the cost of the movers, for the fuel if you're driving your own moving truck? Look at the cost if you have to go into temporary housing. What is that going to run? Look at if you are purchasing a new house and you're intending to move directly into that without going into a rental. Do you need to be in a hotel or Verbo or something like that for a week or two while you wait for the new house to be ready to move into? Also, look at the cost of things you may not be thinking about, like hookup fees for utilities, the cost of enrolling your kids in school. Maybe your kids go to a private school now and you want them to continue going to private school, but now you have to look, okay, is private school the same cost here that it is in the community you live now? Or maybe your kids are going to be going into public school, but you have to look at what is the cost of their extracurricular activities. There's so many different costs that can vary from place to place. So make sure and do that research and put together a relocation budget. If you can't afford to move, then you probably shouldn't be moving. If the salary that your new employer is offering you looks like a lot, but then you go out and realize you can't afford the same kind of house that you have now. So you really need to spend more of that salary on housing. Maybe that great increased salary that you're being offered isn't actually that great. And you might want to try to negotiate for a higher salary offer. These are things you want to do ahead of actually making the final decision on moving. Also, just because the job is fantastic and the salary is great doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a great move for your family. So research things like what school options are there? What community resources are there? What is there to do here? What's the lifestyle like? Are you a family that loves outdoor living and more laid back lifestyle? If you are a laid back lifestyle kind of family, you enjoy outdoor activities and recreation, that is going to be something that moving here to the Tri Cities can offer for you. But if you're a family that really likes big city amenities, you like to go out to eat late in the evenings, you want to be able to go to concerts every weekend or something like that, we may not have the amenities your family is used to, and that may be okay. But maybe it's not okay. So just look at those things and get that kind of figured out ahead of making that decision about whether or not you actually want to move to the Tri Cities. Now, if you looked at all those things and you go, okay, you know what, this is the right fit for us. This does have the amenities and the lifestyle and the vibe that we like. Now, the next step is to connect up with a great relocation real estate broker. Yes, relocation real estate broker, not just any old real estate broker. You want to make sure you're connecting up with an individual who can help you specifically with your relocation needs. The reason is a relocation move is a lot different than just moving across town. There's a lot of different moving pieces and parts, and it can be a lot more complicated to move across the state or out of state than it is to just move from one neighborhood to another within the same community. So make sure that you connect up with someone who can help you out with setting up a relocation budget, setting up a timeline, putting together a step-by-step checklist for you that's customized to you and your family's specific needs so that everything flows smoothly and you don't have a bunch of unexpected things pop up that create chaos and anxiety and just messiness during your move. If you are interested in that information, I actually have a great relocation guide that you can grab. The link for that is down below in the description. It's got a lot of step by step information. I also have a link below where you can schedule an appointment with me where we can meet on Zoom or over the phone to set up an appointment and start putting together that custom relocation schedule for you. So now you've made the decision, it's the right area for you, it's got the right vibe, you've started putting together that plan, you've connected up with a great relocation broker. Now, what is next? The next step is that we're going to start looking for that home. Now, super important that you tell the real estate broker you're working with exactly what the absolute needs are for your family, and then the wants, and then the it'd be great pipe dream kind of things. Start out with what is absolutely most important, whether it's we must be within walking distance to the kids' school, or we must be within walking distance to the grocery store, or we must be no longer than 10 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it is from this new job, and tell them what the new job is and where it's going to be located. They can help you start narrowing down neighborhoods. They obviously can't tell you what the absolute best neighborhood is because it's totally dependent on what's important to you and your family, but they can help you using your criteria that you give them narrow down what areas to start most looking in. They can send you homes that match your details, keeping in mind when you're on Zillow and things like that. It's not always the most accurate information. I know it's great to go on Zillow. It's an easy to use website, but it is not always the most accurate information. So work with your real estate agent and have them set up a custom search for you directly through the MLS. They can also go out and preview for you. They can take additional video and pictures of neighborhoods and send that to you so you can help start making informed decisions about where you might want to live. Now, I strongly suggest that one of the things you do, if at all possible within your budget, schedule a relocation house hunting trip. This is super important. You can come out ahead of time. The real estate broker can set up a custom community tour for you, take you out on a driving tour, get you in to see some of the houses you've been looking at online so that you can get a feel for what they look like in person. You can look at the neighborhood. You can really start to feel like, yes, this is it. I love these neighborhoods. Or, you know what? No way. This doesn't feel like home. This isn't going to work for our family. We thought it was going to, but it really isn't. Or maybe you were ruling out houses that were 10 or 15 miles away from your new job location because you thought there is no way we can make that commute. But you come out here for a house hunting trip and you do that drive and you realize, holy cow, 10 miles here in the Tri Cities is really only 10 or 12 minutes. We can totally do that. And now you can expand the area you're researching and searching in for a new home because you've realized, hey, that commute is doable when maybe before you thought it wasn't. These are all things you can narrow down by coming out for a pre move house hunting trip. And if you're working with a great relocation specialist, they'll happily help you schedule that, take you out on a neighborhood tour, all those kind of things. So you decided it's the right move for you. You have found the relocation broker you like. You started doing research on neighborhoods. Now, if you have kids, you want to research the school districts. I cannot stress this enough. Do not trust the school boundary maps that you find online in the Tri Cities. We are growing so fast that they are constantly redrawing boundaries, and the maps you find online are not always accurate. Also, just because that's the boundary this year doesn't mean it's going to be the boundary next year. My ultimate advice for getting information on the school districts here in the Tri Cities is to directly call the district office. If there's a house you love or a neighborhood you love, but you also have a school that you love and you think they line up, but you're not 100% certain, make that call to the district and ask them that question. You can actually call and say, hey, I'm moving to the Tri Cities. I have my heart set on this certain subdivision, or I have my heart set on this house at XYZ address. Can you please tell me if that falls within the boundary of ABC school? And you know what? The district specialist who you talk to when you call that phone number, 9 times out of 10, they will be so happy to chat with you, answer that question. And if they're busy and can't, they will forward you to somebody who can. I have never once had a client who has taken that approach and not found someone at the district who was more than happy to chat with them, about where the school district boundaries are. Send them maps, help them out with that. Take the time to make those phone calls. It will help so much with you feeling so comfortable about your move. If you have more questions on moving to the Tri Cities, Washington, check out my playlist for everything you need to know about moving to the Tri Cities, Washington. When it comes to relocating for work or moving for big life events, I am here to answer all your questions and I look forward to helping you with your move. I'm Hillary Templin, real estate broker and relocation specialist here in the Tri Cities. I can answer any questions you have on the community, on the real estate market, or on relocation in general. And I look forward to helping you and your family with your move to the Tri Cities.